like ABRs, some of our competitors, they're not even selling the tissue. They're like, oh, we'll give you an isolation. And we're like, well, why can't I get it? And they're like, well, because it's such short demand right now, it's more profitable for us to isolate it and sell you the vials rather than give you the entire tissue. And I'm just like, are you serious?
It's funny because ever since, I think I remember, it was like 6 months or a year ago you told me about the proposition. And so now every time I do a DNA, I'm like, oh, there's some lung.
Yeah, you already know, huh?
Like, I can, like, I'm like, because
We can do it. I'm telling you.
I'm down. No, I'm excited.
You told me about the proposition. And so now every time I do a DNA, I'm like, oh, there's some lung.
Yeah, you already know, huh?
I was like, where is this? I was like, where's my guy who can play with the tissue? I was like, because they're like trying to sort it, and I was like, I'm like picking up, I'm like, you know, they're like, well, can you show us a sample from today? And I'm like, I was like, is this a really bad day for us?
I remember you mentioned that there was one that day.
And it was like one bad sample. It was like a 16-year-old kid.
Please go on.
It was like a 16-year-old kid, so we just had to hurry up. Whereas like other days, it's like more intact, where it's like maybe only like an arm that's
I would imagine
disarticulated. Other days, it's like more intact, where it's like maybe only